do crazy things.
Alright guys, listen, so I wanted to give you my thoughts in regards to this situation. I think it's very important to be able to talk about for a variety of reasons.
Jalen boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
Can't do that in this world, man. You can't do that in this world, man. Arsenio, they got rules. They got rules. Like, he has a rule. The big player, he got a rule. He got to wax his head every morning. That's his rule. He follows the rules, man. He follows the rules. Oh, he's a joke. Come on.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked. Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane joke. I'm going to, okay?
How black men treat other black men that don't agree with their positions is something that needs to be addressed, and I'm happy to address it on this platform. Too many men in the black community that just ride off of emotions. They ride to react. They don't sit back and strategically respond to situations and know how to deal with it from a masculine perspective, from a leader perspective. But when Will walked up on that stage and slapped hot spit and fire out of Chris Rock, he really wasn't slapping Chris Rock.
The NFL is on EA Sports, and we are in Silicon Valley at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago, this crowd, they loved their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
Actually has nothing to do with protection.
It's the team of the 80s versus the team of the 90s. The Niners, the Cowboys, they're underway.
Because you chose to make an utter.
Taking it about the one.
Listen, at the end of the day, yo,
and they'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
No one except for you. This is the same young lady that admitted to having a relationship with her son's friend while he was going through a mental health crisis. If anything, Will, you should have slapped yourself. Not only for getting up on that stage, but because you were one of the first people to laugh at that joke. And while we're on the joke, let's talk about it. He's a comedian. Comedians are supposed to make jokes. That's what they get paid to do. I was just having a conversation with a young woman this morning, and she's on that whole energy. The black woman is the least protected or the most disrespected.
On first down, it's Mitchell. And right away, he lost the football. And the offense will cover this one up, but they'll be pushed back inside their own 10.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it, able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Today, she has alopecia. She doesn't have a life-threatening disease in her illness. He may not even known that she had an autoimmune disease.
The fumble on first down now. Here's second down.
For example, let's say I was in the goddamn audience. And
here's Lance. He'll get this into the hands of Mostert. So the screen good for only 2. Now it's third down.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. What a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Actually life-threatening disease.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. And he'll go out of bounds just shy of the 20. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Now on fourth down, it's the punt team sending this one
looking
away.
at the way that you demonstrated yourself and are saying, that's the things that I have to do in order to
48-yard
protect
punt, 7 on the return, and the Cowboys will take over the football with a first and 10.
What you did was not protecting. What you did was embarrassing. What you did was the exact opposite of being brave. It was being a coward. It takes a man to understand how to not let his emotions ride over the logic in a situation. If it really bothered you, you remain stoic. Maybe you go up later during your acceptance speech, you highlight your wife's alopecia to make the audience look at that joke a little bit differently. But you still had an issue. You have a private conversation with this peer.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a first and 10 at the 34.
The context of the situation and to respond accordingly.
And he's not going anywhere to start tonight. They stop him at the line of scrimmage. Troy Greenlaw in there on the tackle.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline as a play caller. You're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third
looking
level.
at this, understand this. Who you choose to be by your side, if you decide, will be one of the most important decisions that you will ever make in your life. It'll either bring you peace and happiness.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, second and 10.
Anger is not a way that you want to live your life, which is why the modern women of today needs to understand the power of their tongue.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. One unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they're in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other, while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense, but someone's going to run for some big yardage.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Same result as last play, 14 yards and another first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Male image and
so from inside Niner territory now, this is first and 10 at the 38.
But today, it seems as though
Elliott running right. And he stopped immediately there. K'Wan Williams, the one that got him down. You don't see that a ton, do you? With the cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
Insane and unaccountable.
Meanwhile, Zach's throw completed at the hands of Schultz here. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 21.
What a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
First down run with Elliott going to go for about 4. Second and 6 coming up.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On second down, Elliott once more. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. We're scoreless after one.
I'm at the workplace, and I have a coworker who's been nagging me or bothering me for years. So I go home, I drink, I then go out on the road and then cause
Here
an
we
accident.
go now on first and goal.
This fault because I allowed myself to be in a situation with a coworker, which allowed me to go drink. or just not even just drive and get into an accident because of my emotions.
And he goes down right there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal. Down here near the goal line, you don't think of a cornerback in run coverage, but he made the stop.
Yeah, most of the quarterbacks we know, they want to be those pass defenders and take away one half of the field, but the best ones in the game are the quarterbacks.
They'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, an 8-yard touchdown run. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Now Greg Zerline on for the extra point.
Takes it seriously. They just laugh and move.
And this is up and good to make it 7-0 Cowboys.
Y'all already know what to do. Me over towards reviews at gmail.com. Guys, again, leave your comments down below so we can get active on this situation. Until next time, YouTube.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. Take it in at the 3. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
I don't care if I have 1, 2, 3, or 2 kids with somebody. Once the love is gone, once it gets toxic, I'm not staying for the kids. No, but I don't
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down.
Are you establishing families with people?
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs. Run some plays, run some clock. Allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they escape on the score.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They go back to the ground, this time Mostert. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this book, right, and make all calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and set them down.
A couple of clips for you guys that I wanted to go over to further demonstrate what is happening today. That dating is rigged.
Throwing his lance on 3rd down. That's complete to Mostert out of the backfield. And all the way down to the 29. A big play there for the Niners.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far. And never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Lance. They'll get this into the hands of Ayuk. 7 yards to pick up there.
That's not and sometimes he's
3 yards remain for 2nd down.
She's got on a shirt on that says Black Boy, tell me how you really feel. So with all due respect, I'll tell you.
Lance a handoff here to Mostert. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Needs to understand today to make herself a fantastic dating option for relationship and for marriage.
2 minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game.
Emotions, but the pure and utter selfishness in establishing that your dating relationship to be centered around chaos or toxicity as opposed to the stability or the peace within a relationship.
Lance to throw on 3rd and 1. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
But we have women like her that will kick up dust in a relationship. Well, I think these dust kickers should get just as much bad press as these dusty men that they like to label men in the space as, because men.
Kyle Shanahan's made the decision. They're going on fourth down.
All that they want is peace. This is why
they'll go for it. Lance.
Because why would I want to spend time?
This is good shit. Touchdown 49ers. 23 yards for the touchdown. And the 49ers are within an extra point of tying this thing up.
An excellent, long, sustained offensive drive. And now they can look across the field and see a defense that looks a little bit beaten down. Right now, as an offensive coordinator, you're thinking to yourself, can I dial up the knockout punch?
The past few months I've been working on a very special project.
Able to tack on the extra point, and we are tied here in the second quarter.
Comprehensive look into the red pill and the social, economic, and political factors which have contributed to the rise
so
of the
we'll leave it at 7 now as they kick it away.
Have gone into the research and production of this project, and I am excited
this
to
is
present
Tony
to
Pollard.
each and every one of you. Transcending the red pill.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 to 27.
Series, which details the events and circumstances which have led up to today's dino-centric environment. Some of the chapters here include
about set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Calling a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
All right, anything you may have done back in the day that would be considered an April Fool's Day joke is absolutely positively probably happening in real life. That's why today I couldn't even choose one donkey simply because.
Gonna take a shot for Gallup. He's got a man complete. And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. A big play here for Dallas.
I think it's pretty safe to say that initially they had to be thinking about trying to get into field goal range. But after that shot right there, they've got to be thinking bigger right now.
And that was probably their thought offensively. If we hit this, great, let's go for the end zone. If not, settle for a field goal. Looks like they can try to hit pay dirt. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Cowboys have taken the lead. Zerline connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7.
After showing up at the East County Hall of Justice in another
now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
Randy Jones had a court appearance for the stolen
Let's take it in at the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
They say Sandy is doing Nick Cannon over and over and expecting not to get pregnant. No, that's not it. And Sandy is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Brandy, I'm not saying you're
the San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And we'll see how they want to play this. Just a little over 20 seconds to go. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half.
Well, that's a slang term men say, my meat. Okay, but I didn't know penis meat could actually rot. Right,
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple.
I guess humans, since we're technically animals, like this, our penises can rot too. This man clearly wasn't treating his penis properly, so he injected some cocaine in it, and it rotted. I gotta hit both sides. Okay,
Lance now to throw. Flush to his right. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds.
Certainly making his presence felt in both the pass and the run game. He's having an impact.
Yeah, his first carry of the game right there. He had hurt him with his arm. Now he's showing that he can shuffle the puppies as well. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
I hope you are all doing well. I'm glad to see you guys made it back.
The Lance going to throw. He'll look downfield for Kittle. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by DeMonte Casey. And the Cowboys will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. The rookie was trying to push it downfield, but the safety bit him.
And he'll learn that you have to hold the safety. And you do that with your head movement, your eyes, sometimes your shoulders. Hold the safety so that you can get back to the throw that you really want to make. He got so excited thinking his guy was open that he made it easy for the defensive back to go get the football.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Jason Verrett, and he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Both these teams, no doubt, making their final halftime adjustments as we speak. And for the call of the second half, we get it back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. The Cowboys will get the football first here. They have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Quick loading, and you can choose 4K or 10K. This video I'm probably going to do in 1080.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Second half starts with a carry by Elliott. Elliott a first down and more as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line. 62 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
Big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Prescott to throw it. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here, a second down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
So many times we talk about coverage, we're just talking about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down. Throwing, Prescott. Open man, right side, it's Lamb. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. So they'll say no to the 50-yard field goal try. Instead, the offense out there, they're going for it. They'll run it with Elliott. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. Just enough push up front. He only needed about 6 inches. He didn't get a whole lot more than that.
No, but he made sure he got enough so they didn't have to worry about measuring it or making it even close. Ends up picking up a couple of yards in a situation, as you noted, where he only needed inches.
scrog, like doing a scrog.
The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Play action now, Prescott. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And his ball is caught by Lamb. Touchdown, Dallas. CeeDee Lamb, 31 yards. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
27-28 degrees Celsius. After week 3, I dropped that down to 25 degrees Celsius and let it go.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
And things like that. So 25 degrees Celsius.
And no return on this one. It's a fair catch. A signal for and take
Make sure that you're always getting good airflow, and you'll be fine. And that brings me to my next one. Other than proper environment, airflow. Airflow is another one. You want good airflow. You want wind blowing in around your buds and all of that. You want them to feel like open.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you to bigger errors.
Second and 10 here as we roll along in quarter number 3 from Santa Clara. Throwing now is Lance, eluding the pressure right. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
And that's a nice throw right there. And I'll tell you what I've seen in recent times and actually watched a presentation in the offseason from a college offensive coordinator that showed about 10 different drills that he runs with his quarterbacks to show them how to get out of the pocket, how to get comfortable when they're doing so, and to make plays under that type of duress. That's an example of what we're seeing in the colleges delivered to the NFL.
On first and 10, it's Mostert. And they get him down right near the midfield stripe. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's second and 2.
Brings up second and 2.
From midfield, here's Lance. Oh, what a catch by Samuel. And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to wind up being the final play of the third quarter. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on first and 10. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Anthony Brown there on the tackle. Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
Let's go, D. Mike, 55. Right there in the middle, 55. Watch twist, watch twist, watch twist. Twist it. 55 to Mike. Check, 55 to Mike.
To throw, it's Lance sliding out of the pocket. And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Raheem Mostert there to make the grab. And the 49ers have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a one-score game here in the fourth.
And that's what these guys have done all game long because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
Gold with the extra point, and now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. On the return, Tony Pollard from his end zone. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
And that brings me on to next, okay? So, unnatural and natural PTMs, okay? So,
about set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Elliott going to get it again on second down. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. Yeah, Elliott trying to work his way forward, but it looks like he did not make it. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Okay, if your humidity is dialed in, if your temperature is dialed in, your EPD is dialed in, if you know what you're doing is dialed in, that's when you have it switching.
The Cowboys will go. Prescott.
Good shit. Good shit.
The turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And into
Good shit, cut.
6 for the 49er D as they score a touchdown.
I'm not saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender from there. He doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone. And
Oh, we got more than 3 plays, though, nigga.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the fourth quarter. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the scores. The kicks away. Pollard to return from the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
My whole life, I feel like this. If I had a 9-week training, what I would have done is at about 7 weeks.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They will look to flush the memory of that pick 6 as we now have a brand new tie ball game here in the fourth quarter. Getting down to the good stuff. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports.
And then that 9th week,
so the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. And they're going to stop it right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They don't have the initial with the ball. So I think we understand the cafeteria. They're still posted
Now Prescott. He finds his man complete. That's Schultz. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock. At some point, we have to have a splash play in there as well.
Another carry tonight for the workhorse Allen. Tackled by Emmanuel Mosley. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts, as he'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. Working with 2nd and 5 now. They go to Elliott again. And not able to break away this time, as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout, as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. 3rd down, trying to get a little bit closer. From here, the field goal will be 55 yards. Here's Prescott. Open man Lamb, it's complete. And this will move the chains again, as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 18. Haven't heard much from him all night, but welcome to the party, making his presence felt in a big way.
They've kept him under wraps all night long, but boy, did he find a great time to bust out.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. A 20th carry here for Elliott. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now Dak. They'll get this out wide here to Elliott. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds, right around the 7.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another 1st down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. Now they get the timeout. It leads you to wonder, will they kick it here or risk running another play and possibly not getting down in time? We'll see.
And also the ingredients that are in it, and really do keep an honor right here on this episode by making it from scratch using all worm casting.
And he's in for the touchdown.
Good game, my dude. Good game.
Final seconds. Forget overtime. They just likely won this thing in regulation. Now Zerline on and the extra point.
On our season 3 10x10 season. So, to get started, one of the things that you should do.
And it would appear they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory.
Nobody does it the same as he does. He makes his own worm casters from scratch. And then he adds special ingredients throughout that process. So that when he gets to the soil mixing phase, he's essentially...
Yeah, after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
Not adding all the ingredients that we're going to have.
Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. They're going to take this up close to the 40, so really good starting field position.
A number of different ways. In 2 degrees, mixing this with good castings at this ratio works really, really well. So, you're watching it home, and you want to go a step further. You can set up a worm den. The way that he's done
one final try now for Lance.
He's even recommended those dumpster bags or waste management.
They'll get this into the hands of Mostert. And they got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. We're going into the final play of this game. They knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
And I'll talk about the ingredients so that at least you know where I'm coming from. And just Google Clackamas Coot soil recipe, and you'll find a ton of information about this soil recipe in particular. And it's very simple, so we can talk about every ingredient. And I think one of the things that's neat is anywhere in the world, no matter where you live, if you understand each ingredient, you can duplicate this recipe. You don't have to buy anything from Build a Soil. And that's a big part of the do-it-yourself philosophy. So let's talk about it. I've got the kit here, which we're going to make available to you. You can get all of this delivered to your home, or you can go source all of it individually. The bulk of what you see here is the base. We have the aeration is one part, and it's a 3-part recipe. We have the peat moss, which is the second part, and we have all of the worm castings, which is the third part. They're all equal parts by volume, not by weight. And so what I mean by that is rice hulls, 1 cubic foot, a lot lighter weight than 1 cubic foot of worm castings. And when you find these old school recipes, a lot of times you'll see people say 40 pounds of worm castings. Well, is that wet, dry? So I like to go by volume when it comes to things that have moisture in them. So that might help you if you're shopping on the market. Some people sell castings by the pound. It's okay as long as it's a fair price, but it can get a little confusing when it comes to moisture content. A cubic foot for our purposes, we like to say is about 7.5 gallons. Depending if it's wet or dry, fluffed or smashed. The equal parts that we're using to make 18 cubic feet, 6 cubic feet of aeration, 6 cubic feet of peat moss, 6 cubic feet of worm castings. Now, I'm going to talk about that because there's a few different ways you can break this up. The peat moss. This is a 3.8 cubic foot.
NFL on EA Sports is in the great state of Tennessee at Nissan Stadium here in Nashville. Fired up for football as a moment ago their Titans were introduced.
Mobile QB. And a big ass running back. Soon be up against.
When you flip it by hand and you measure it,
and the opening kickoff will not be returned as that will be a touchback.
See if we can keep the streak going, fellas.
Making sure we keep the integrity of the recipe. Now, on the aeration side, we have 2 types of aeration. Even though it's one part, we have...
The first down run for Elliott will net him about 5 yards. It's second down.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
Just like perlite would, and that's an important advantage. Now, the reason why we use this particular brand that we bag up and we also sell in its original wrapping, it's a lot bigger bale. They do a lot of heavy metal testing, and they do a lot of batch consistency to make sure that there's no germination.
First down run got 5. Here's second and 5.
Ruining your soil. Like on a commercial scale, that's a huge issue when you're germinating and you're trying to sell. So, quality of rice are important. Next, we have
a quick burst there, and he nicely bit off. Pretty decent game.
Also used for the dental industry and water filtration and the beauty industry, and so it's a really clean material. Heavy metal tested. It's a great product. It's a 3/8 by quarter, and so you'll see the size, but it's 3/8 by quarter inch, and in mine it's pretty close to here, so freight's not that big of a deal, and it's a great product. But pumice and rice hulls is the
getting my personnel together, man. Don't panic.
If you have perlite, you're like, God, I have this, I want to use it. The whole point is to use this soil forever, to keep it around, never throw it away.
Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
This does not do that. The bulk of what we use is pumice. The rice hulls over years will eventually break down. That's okay. We'll have worms in there, cover crop roots, all sorts of ways to keep the soil active, alive, and fluffy, if that makes sense, where it's not going to compress. I like to use a little more pumice than rice hulls just for the long term, knowing some of this will go away. All right? Worm castings. We're using build-a-soil worm castings.
So from the 36 now, first and 10.
They test out phenomenally well and balanced. But one of the things I like about the soil, though, is they're
give to Elliott. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. 2 yards the loss, second and 12.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
It'd be super heavy.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott.
So this is a great way for us to give you the basketball.
And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch.
Good shit, Cooper.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection.
That's the one thing you want to learn about.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job, and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
Well,
there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run. And let's face it, this shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down. Otherwise, it's going to be a long afternoon.
That is caught.
Good save.
Going to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds.
And that covers a lot of bases there.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result.
And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Ezekiel Elliott taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Cowboys take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive.
Extra one-up to the recipe. That's what we did. Then, last but not least, he eventually started getting multiple.
Zerline good with a PAT. And it's now a 7-0 game.
It really kicks off soil production. It's great to feed the worms, and it helps break down everything that we're adding.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
Enzymes are very, very special. For that reason, we're going to include it in our Platinum nutrients.
Cameron Batson now from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Add multiplier. It's the full peach recipe at its full evolution. And then on top of that, last but not least, we have the minerals and the biochar. So let's talk about minerals. This mineral mix is 27 pounds. It's for 9 cubic feet. And so all in all, we're adding 54 pounds of minerals. And that's 4 cups per cubic foot. We're making 18.
Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Had a really good turnout. And when I found out that he was really looking for minerals, we started originally using glacial rock dust. Then he came to find that he really, really preferred basalt rock dust for a number of reasons.
On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field. Man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
This is a volcanic rock material.
Derrick Henry. And he'll scratch out.
There will be none of that, my man.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
There's just a few amendments.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Minerals. That's it. And it builds the entire basis of this recipe.
Tannehill with a play fake to Henry. He'll throw instead. Got his man. That's the Pro Bowler, Julio Jones.
35 gallons of soil. We're not adding much as far as percentage. This will add a lot of carbon to it for the long term. It's pre-charged with root-wise and a little bit of amino acids.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Because we're trying to research on biochar. A lot of our customers are adamant about adding biochar, and we want to make sure that that's included. I've got my tarp, which is how we used to do it. I've got a shovel, which you don't really need. I've got a plastic one because I don't want to tear the tarp. This will make it easy for me to just move stuff around a little bit. A lot of times,
now a play fake, and it's Tannehill.
I want to break up all the clumps. It's a lot of work.
Man open, here is Jones. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
In man coverage, your #1 cardinal rule, don't get beat deep. And that's why the comeback route is so effective, because that's how they're selling it, Brandon. Taking you all the way upfield before breaking it back down.
A first down carry for Henry. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. And he will go down, a Cowboy sack. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
We grab the peat moss first. Main reason why is this has to all be broken up properly.
Good D, fellas.
Keep going. I'm going to cut the peat moss first. There's going to be a lot of clumps, and I'm going to spend some time breaking it up. So I don't have big chunks of peat moss.
So 3rd and long after the sack. Tough task for Tannehill and the Titans.
It really come together as a mix. So what I'd like to do is keep the back.
What you want, woman?
Left side, he's got a man. That's Jones. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down.
You don't want the peat moss to be hydrophobic.
Good shit. Lucky my wife came talking to me.
They snap it to Tannehill.
I think it's a little overkill. I used to do that.
He's got his tight end, Anthony Ferguson. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22.
And that's a big pickup on the first down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
Yeah, deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
1st and goal and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back.
As I remix it, I'll look for clumps, kind of the Zen way. I don't have to sit here and just spend 2 hours doing it.
They'll try and run forward with Henry. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line. 2 minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game.
You can spend a lot more time breaking up these clumps, but like I mentioned, I'm going to do it as I go. Compost I want to add next, so that I create that layer on there. I'm going to do the Cocoa last. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And now those little worm castings. If you're using our bags for the first time, you find the part that has the tape strip on it, and you go to the right side if you're facing the tape strip.
On 2nd and goal, Tannehill escaping the pressure line to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Live to fight another down, right?
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? And it's caught. A terrific job there to keep him out of the end zone. And now it'll be 4th and goal.
Well, the coverage was tight that time. They allowed the pass underneath to him, but they rallied to him pretty fast, too. Converged on him and got him down. That'll bring up 4th down.
I'm going to spread this out, then I'm going to put the cocoa, and then I'm going to put all of the amendments and minerals so you can see what it looks like.
The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1. They'll fake the handoff. Now Tannehill.
Still not enough. We're going to go crazy.
And it's
Good D.
They cannot convert, and they turn
Man.
They're turned away on 4th and goal. And this Cowboy defense comes up with a goal line stand.
A little more detail about a family farm, how it's a homestead family property, historic, clean water rights. They have an organic horse sanctuary, if you will.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. We'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine
Good D.
I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Out of his end zone, Prescott. On the crossing route, he hits his man, Amari Cooper. And they'll get him down out past the 15-yard line.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper, and we mentioned, when they play man coverage against you, he almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what it said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. If they feel that they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
He'll rifle this one deep right side.
Good shit.
It's intercepted. Picked up by Caleb Farley. And the tight take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Well, his arm strength never an issue, but this one winds up in the wrong hands.
Oh, the coverage here is just terrific because when it's done really well, sometimes you can't distinguish whether it's the receiver or the defense.
Yeah, definitely threw it to the wrong dude. My fault.
Perfect motion and able to make a big-time play.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. Flushed out right. He's got it complete. Derrick Henry. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
The big chunks are Karanja seed. The small seed is the malted barley, the green parts. We got the kelp meal. It's everything that we talked about.
From the gun, here's Tannehill.
The ocean and the land. I mean, it's really, really good.
In a double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And the Cowboys are going to get it back here just shy of the 20. That was just one of those interceptions from our perspective here. We got a good view at the 50-yard line mid-level. The quarterback and receiver were not on the same page.
Just by his reaction, I'm talking about the quarterback, he expected something different from his receiver, whether he expected him to break in, out, deeper, shorter. They'll determine that on the sideline. But bottom line, you can see that he thought he'd be in a different spot, except the defender was.
Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down. Now Tennessee going to use the second of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Another try after the first down sack. Prescott, he'll fire deep downfield from Lamb. And got his man complete. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half.
Damn, I ain't even know I caught that shit.
So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's first down on the other side of the field. Prescott to throw it. And it's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
No sense risking anything there on first down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who can make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches.
Hit as he throws there, incomplete. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying, no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making it sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter.
Good stuff is great. Alfalfa is a helping lane. And so that's one that people use to replace helping. The green portion we're looking at.
Zerline's kick is up and through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They force the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
Short kick, one of the up middle taken down. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL. And it's a presentation of EA Sports.
Final adjustments being made in both locker rooms. We're just about ready for the second half. And for the call, let's get you back up to Nashville, Music City, and Brandon Gott.
Soy, unless it's, organic, non-GMO. I stay away from those.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis and Brandon Gott, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Titans going to get the ball to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back to it on EA Sports. Here's Batson now, bringing it out of the end zone. Now Crease here as he's past the 30.
Barley is easily available to the beer brewers. You could sprout some organic corn, you could sprout some organic popcorn in the grocery store. You could sprout some barley, you could sprout some oats, you could sprout any seed that you have. Sprout it when the tail is about that long, just when it's ripe and plump, before it starts to grow. That's when it's usually at peak enzymatic activity, because seed starting.
Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And right out of the gate, they face what you think could be a pretty important drive.
I I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting more pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
Right up the street.
Meanwhile, Tannehill's throw into the hands of Ferguson here. And he's brought down. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Tannehill going to turn and give this to Henry. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
To make fertile soil. That's the idea there. Then the other 2 in the middle, which are the gypsum and the oyster. Those are heavy calcium. When you read about soil building, calcium is king. Very, very important to balance the cation.
Tannehill now throw.
Agronomic soil outside. High calcium, and if it's not,
batted at the line and intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. The first half did not go their way, and that's not going to help matters at all. An interception here on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
Obviously not what they were striving to accomplish. But you know who's really upset on their team? The defense. Already trailing. They're going to be counted on to try and hold that score at least where it is.
So much magnesium.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Drop the comment. I think as a community we can support each other.
On 2nd and 12, Prescott. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode. Really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Rashad Evans out of Alabama had the tackle defensively.
You can grab the tarp and then just forward it back in the middle. Get a good grip and just whip it. Just go around. Okay, now I don't want to get too crazy.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Add the home of rifles and do all that more time.
Again, it's
2
Elliott.
bags of rifles, 4 bags of opponent.
Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Okay, if you get a couple of clumps like this, we get it raw. We dump the pumice in the same spot, thousands of yards, so basically the pumice all the way.
3rd and short yardage, Prescott.
That's fine.
Good deed.
Throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Pretty incredible stuff.
They'll say no to the 46-yard field goal try. They're going to go for it.
I hope you're ready for a little bit of workout. It's really fun to do. But
out of the gun. Here's Prescott.
And like I said, you don't have to do it. You want to go.
He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. Both sides were holding their breath there on that 4th down play, and the offense can breathe a sigh of relief.
And both knew exactly where the first down markers were. You know the defense is trying to guard those sticks and try to keep people in front, but somehow, some way, those guys found a way to pick it up.
Now a throw in the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
But you got to think that sooner or later, they're going to hit one of those, but the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
2nd and 10 coming up here in Nashville. 3rd quarter action. The give is to Elliott. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10.
It's still really rough around the edges.
And now here's a carry heading left. No dice this go around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
All turnovers. Really nice.
On 2nd and 11 now. Prescott. This is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys.
And then I'm going to ask
Dalton Schultz, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Cowboys
Good game, bro. Good game.
lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter.
I've got it here in the tarp, and this is what I've always done. In my garage, I would mix
Sirlein connects on the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0.
But what we have to do to get it really to that point is add the water, which we didn't do
now after the
yesterday.
touchdown, it's Sirlein. He'll kick it away.
Adding the moisture is super important because that's what brings the biology to life. And there's a couple things.
Here's Batson now, bringing it out of the end zone. And he'll be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this 3rd quarter. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Plant into it the same day. But there's an agreement
play action, Tannehill. They'll roll him out right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Play action, it's Tannehill.
The soil profile changes a little bit.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost
Just
cause.
like compost making, if we add too much moisture, the process doesn't happen.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Without air, totally just muddy like soup, and that's when you get a raunchy stench.
Desperation time for Tannehill on 4th down.
Against what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it
That's to his running back, complete. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. The Titans triumph, but ultimately they fail on 4th down. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position.
When watering is about 5 to 10% by volume. There's 135
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
That means the most I would add today would be 13 gallons.
Prescott on play action.
I've got my Chapin water sprayer.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense can crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back dropped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
And we're going to show you what the activity looks like.
Over the middle, complete. That's Schultz. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown.
That was crazy.
Because if it gets warm in the center, there's
I feel you. Good game, cuz.
And the outsides won't get it. So then we fold it to the middle, and we let that happen again, just like making compost. That pulled the tarp away from the pile.
That's enough, Madden.
Right around the edges, because when I get my shovel, I want to catch the tarp.
Get some duty.
You look at it, it's mostly mixed. I take a handful, it looks like soil. It's got a deep